Hello everyone, and welcome to the 5th installment in my intuitive development series. I'll post some links at the end of the video if you want to see the entire video series, and it's also part of a playlist here, so you can look at that as well and see what's up next in that. But this one is exciting, and I think it's timely because it's all about love. Not necessarily finding a soulmate, there are a lot of videos about that. This is more about living in the frequency of love and thereby attracting love in your life. Let me kind of go through what I've written. This is one of the few times that before I start a video, I really put it all on paper, and I'll be sharing this with all my newsletter subscribers, and I'll be posting it to social media. So if you want to read it and digest it that way, fine. Otherwise, I'm going to read a few sentences or a few paragraphs at a time and elaborate a little bit more here than I could on those platforms. So the first thing that I wrote was, love is the universal currency. It's the one thing that we take with us at the end of our days, and it's the frequency from which we all came. I believe the divine or God or the universe basically operates in the frequency of love. It's creation, it's love, it's expansion. So it makes sense that to find love, we need to exist in that frequency of love, and I'm spelling it with a capital L because to me that's unconditional love of yourself and those around you. Too often, and I think this is an old archetype that we're breaking through, but too often we'll look at other people as a missing piece or our better half. And I really think that does a disservice to your own ability to evolve and also someone else, because you're defining their role as completing you, or that you're somehow saying that you're not enough without someone else. So during the month of February, and I would really say any month in the year that you happen to hear this, where there might be a focus on defining yourself by are you in a relationship or how much are you expressing it to someone on that given day, I would say let's take a closer look about really how to open up our hearts and how to exist 365 days of the year in that frequency of love. Kind of like the story of, I mention it a lot, but the Christmas Carol. It's not something that you do one day, it's something that you continue to evolve into and express on a daily basis. So Valentine's Day is just an invented holiday. Really, every day should be that expression of love for yourself and for others. The first tip that I wrote was to become the one that you seek. Really, you have to look within when you're trying to figure out how to attract love into your life. Do you truly love yourself unconditionally? I mean, this is a hard question. Most of us think we do, but there's usually something about us that makes us feel uncomfortable, wishes that we were more or less, so that we could be closer to the norm. What I wrote here was, if not, the work has to start where you feel that sense of not being happy. If there are pieces of your life where you need to work, where you feel like it's a little messy, fix that first, because whatever you're bringing into a relationship, you want it to be a clean slate. And you want to feel like you're kind of sorted out, if you will. Heal and improve those areas first, then celebrate the work that you've done. Look back and say, oh my God, I'm really excited that I have moved past some of these limits that I thought were imposed on me, or the things that I wanted to feel better about. This is going to be an attractive force. This is going to bring better things into your life. The next thing I want to talk about is the idea that different is divine. Look at the singular qualities that make you stand out from other people. Maybe these are genetic, maybe they're cultural, maybe it's something in your language, or maybe it's something on a deeper soul level where you just feel like you're kind of marching to the beat of a different drum. Know that you played a part in this programming, and that your experience about like on this planet right now was part of that programming. I talked about this in one of my videos that I had a past life flashback where I saw myself working with guides and angels, seeing sort of the new way that I would live, picking the culture, picking the way I look, doing all of that, knowing that I actually was working with them. So I can't really blame the universe for what's going on because I actually chose some of it. We may forget it. We have this sort of selective amnesia that takes place when we have reincarnation. But know this, you did have some sort of a role in the programming of what your life looks like, how you feel, how you interact with others. So let's get back to what I was saying, which is, in essence, if each of us is a creation of the divine, or at least takes part in this, then these differences are in fact part of that divine plan. So if that's stemming out of the frequency of love, then if we don't love those singular qualities about ourselves, then we're actually falling out of sync with not only the energy of God, the divine, the universe, but also love itself. And then we're pushing away opportunities that come through in our life that can help us celebrate all these things that we chose to experience. It's really important for you to live in a heart-centered consciousness. When we look at modern day society, a lot of it is about external focus, like what you look like, who you know, how much money you have. This really doesn't matter though on a cosmic scale. And what I wrote here is that you really want to focus on the work that you've done on yourself. And once you've accepted what you can and cannot, or maybe perhaps should not change, then you begin to live each day in gratitude and in grace. And grace is really important because you're no longer fighting sort of all of the energy around you. You're flowing with the universal constant and also flowing within that frequency of love. Use your heart as a compass. Allow it to help you decide how to spend the second most important currency, which is time. And by doing that, you can cultivate friendships, you can cultivate experiences, and also business sort of opportunities as well. And these are going to be ones that celebrate love and passion and things that bring excitement and joy in your life. Have you ever noticed that sometimes we use the phrase, "this is bringing me down"? It could be a person, it could be a job, it could be some sort of a situation. You know, it's interesting because it actually is lowering your frequency. The emotional sort of experience that's going on in your body is due to the energetic exchange that's happening. There might be a person, place, or thing in your life that's kind of sucking or sapping out all of that energy. And so sometimes you leave the room feeling kind of empty or lower, or again, it's bringing you down. So let's start to look at experiences in your life and allow them to bring you up or to elevate you. So whether that is a job, an activity, a lover, whatever it is in your life, if you feel constantly sort of depleted, then that's a great way, using your heart as a compass, to think this isn't where my heart is pulling me. I don't feel like I'm elevated by this situation. Easy does it is the next piece of advice I have. Once you're living, working, and thinking in a higher frequency, don't be surprised if you're starting to naturally attract new situations in your life that are actually higher frequency and more evolved. And the tricky part on this is by simply being sort of satisfied with the work that you're doing on yourself and seeing the changes in your life, more of those changes will start to happen. More beneficial opportunities, people, and places are going to kind of be drawn towards you. And so part of that is just by allowing it to happen. So you have to pause, you have to really live and sort of exist and swim within that energy that you're creating. One thing that's important that's going to hopefully help some of you make peace with the idea that it's okay, it's coming, and I'm actually complete in and of myself, is to maybe work with this mantra, which is you are enough, or if you're going to put it into a mantra, it would be I am enough. Know that you started this journey alone, and you came to the planet to expand your consciousness, to really evolve your soul. Partnership definitely enriches that experience, but it doesn't define it, and it doesn't constitute a requirement for you to successfully graduate through this thing that we call life. It's one component that you can engage as much or as little in as you would like. And partnership can be expressed on so many levels. For some of you, it might be marriage. For some of you, it might be a friendship. For the rest of you, it could be service. So don't look at others and think that that has to be the template for you. Know that you are already enough for yourself, for others. And when you feel that sense of completeness, when you're using your heart as a compass, when you're living and experiencing and attracting things that are in that higher frequency, then through this sort of healthy detachment, higher love comes in. For some of you, that could be a soulmate. But it's not the objective of going into the frequency of love. It's a added benefit. It's a perk. I said the very last thing that you want to kind of focus on is the idea that you're open, but not fixated on trying to find love. This I really do believe in, and I've seen it in my life. I wrote that the universe comes rushing in when you least expect it. As long as you love yourself, your life, your work, you feel fulfilled, in other words, love will find you. At that point, it's going to be the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. And I think that when we're looking at partnerships in our life, that really is sort of the final phase. We have to really evolve completely. And I love that one of the things that's happening now is that people are sometimes getting married much later in life because they need to experience all of these things as a soul. Sometimes it happens sooner, and there's nothing wrong with that either, because maybe together you're going to go through lessons. Everybody has their own path. So whether partnership is an integral part of it or it's a latter sort of add-on, just know that it's important to use your heart as that compass and decide what's best for me. Not what's best for my parents or the community around me or the social norms that have sort of defined what we've come to expect as normal. It's all about your soul's development. You started alone, and ultimately, when you leave the planet, you're going to go back to your soul, aggregate the experiences, and integrate back into that soul space. So know that the partnership is just part of the journey, not the destination, not the sole reason for living. And when you start to just feel a sense of happiness, heart-centered existence, then things will just start to fall into place. So my advice this Valentine's Day, and also every month of this year, because I hope some of you are listening to it in October or June or whatever, is to just live each day in love. Love in the state of love. Love what you're doing, love who you're with. Keep an open mind as well, because the love of your life, it might be a project, it might be your pet, it might be a family member, your soulmate, your higher love. It could come in an unexpected way, and the expression doesn't have to be romantic or sexual. It could be two of you working together or more, working together to change the planet, to change something important, to affect a change around you and other people in your life. So just know that it's all about evolution, and it's all about feeling it on that heart space. And I think if you do that, love will find you, okay? So I'm wishing you happiness, love, and light now and always. I hope you enjoyed this installment. The main sort of focus here is on self-development, okay? If you ever want to talk a little bit more about love, during the month of February in particular, I have a special about relationships, but you can reach out to me any month of the year, whether or not that special is on my site. For your convenience, I've put 3 links below the video. So the first link is a way to reach out to me. The second link is a way to give back. If you like videos like this and you found that this was useful, you can do something as little as $1, and I'll put information below so you can figure out how to do that. And the third link is a way to join me on social media. So if you would like to join this family of lightworkers that I am trying to cultivate on the planet, feel free to do it. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a newsletter as well. So all of these links will be at the bottom of the screen and also right below the video. I'm going to put the text to this on my website. I'll make sure there's a link below, and if I have room, I'll put it in the show more area here on YouTube. So wishing you all the best now and always. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I love you, and I hope that you are in the frequency of love after hearing this and experiencing this video. Take care. We'll see each other soon.